In this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact strategies that I use to create lead magnets that attract more prospects and deliver more value for your business. By the way, make sure you stick around because I'm going to be sharing a powerful tip on how to scale your lead generation with advanced lead magnet formats that most people just straight up overlook. By the way, if we haven't met yet, my name is Emmanuel. I am the founder and kind of chief talk and head guy here over at Square One Group Early. Our mission is to help solopreneurs and founders just like you grow and scale their business using systems. Let's first talk about understanding what your audience really values. Stop. If you are not solving a real problem with your lead magnet. You see, when I first started running Facebook ads, I was completely lost. I knew that I truly needed to generate leads, but I just wasn't sure exactly how to do it. So, like many beginners, I did what truly seemed the easiest. I simply just copied what everyone else was doing. Now, at the time, I noticed that everyone was doing what are called VSLs, or they also stand for what essentially means video sales letters. And another term that's widely thrown around is webinar. So I essentially followed their lead. I thought that if it's working for them, then hey, you know what? It's going to work for me. Reality is it didn't. And what ended up happening is I ran my first ad, launched my first campaign, and my cost per lead skyrocketed to over $100 per lead. And this was 100% not sustainable. So from there, I switched tactics. I then tried promoting Facebook groups because I started seeing a lot of people doing that as well. So I created a funnel to funnel everyone into a Facebook group. Well, good news and bad news. Good news is my cost per lead dropped. But the bad news is that it dropped to about $30 per lead. And I still honestly felt like I was throwing money against the wall, just hoping something would stick. Nothing was resonating truly the way that I wanted it to. You see, the real issue, it was that I wasn't solving the right problem for my audience. I thought that I could just push out content that I thought would be valuable, but without really considering what my audience needed, it just didn't work. So I even switched it up to start promoting the workbooks that I had as lead magnets. And I was still missing the mark. Yeah, it still got me cheaper leads. I was still getting about $22 to $23 per lead, but it just wasn't effective enough. And the harsh reality is people just did not want to sift through an entire workbook to figure out a solution to their problem. They wanted instant gratification. They wanted something quick, actionable, and to the point. So to make a long story short, after a ton of trial and error, I finally found something that worked. It was a checklist that outlined how solopreneurs can scale their business from $500,000 to $1 million. It was actually just one page out of one of my workbooks. That one-page solution, it was easy for people to digest, it directly solved the problem, and it gave them exactly what they needed. And that, my friend, was the turning point because suddenly this $100 to $30 to $20 cost per lead immediately dropped to $1. Lesson here, it was real clear. When you understand what your audience truly values and you solve the right problem, everything changes. Things become a heck of a lot easier. The ads that resonate better will cause your cost per lead to drop and you will see almost instant results. So the big takeaway here is that it's not about just throwing out a bunch of content, but instead figuring out how to offer the right content. Solve the right problem for your audience and they will 100% respond. So don't get discouraged if it's not working. Just keep testing, keep refining, and focus on what truly makes a difference for them. By the way, I have a whole worksheet that I now use to create really simple lead magnets super quick. And if you want access to it, comment the word leads and I'll send it over. Leverage advanced lead magnet formats. You've been pushing out downloadable guides, but it feels like no one cares. Now, between these workbooks and the Solopreneur Guide, what we actually found was another really great lead magnet format: calculators. This wasn't something that we saw a lot of people using because I think they just assumed that it was way too complicated to create. But here's the truth. It was actually super simple. All we did was we took a Google Sheet, we added some formulas, and then we offered it as a calculator. You see, it was doing the exact same thing that a regular calculator would do. We added formulas into the sheet and we told people what to type in and it worked amazingly well. You see, most people limit themselves to just basic guides or checklists when creating lead magnets. They don't actually explore other formats because they might think that it's just way too hard or complicated. When in reality, sticking to one type of lead magnet may not always resonate with your audience or really bring down your costs. So think beyond the usual. Think beyond what's common and what you obviously see out there on your Facebook or Instagram feed. Create calculators, handbooks, instruction manuals, or other formats because they may work even better for your audience. Now, this calculator format that we use, it really helped drive down our cost per lead even more. And it stood out because there weren't a lot of people offering something like that. So the key here is to try different formats and to see what works with your audience. Don't limit yourself to just one approach. By the way, comment the word calculator and I'll be happy to send mine over to you so that you can get some really great inspiration. Creating a seamless funnel with automation. Here is how you scale lead generation effortlessly. So after setting up my lead magnet strategy, I realized that not everyone who downloaded my lead magnet would immediately become a customer. You see, I knew I had their interest, but there was no direct call to action in the lead magnet that told them to buy from me. I needed some sort of way to turn those leads into paying customers. And it clicked for me that if someone downloads the lead magnet, they have a pain point. They're struggling with something, but I just don't know exactly what their problem was or how severe it is. And that's when I knew I had to have a conversation with them to truly understand their needs better and see if I can offer my services as a solution. You see, the challenge here was trying to figure out how to engage with these leads effectively and get them to open up about their pain points. See, I needed a way to start these conversations, but also not sound pushy and also allow me to actually diagnose the problem and, really offer a solution. So simply sending out an email, it just wasn't enough. Most people don't always engage in emails. And I needed something more immediate and more personal. So the solution, we turned to automation. We set up a system where as soon as someone downloaded a lead magnet, they would automatically receive a text message. We used tools like Zapier and Sales Message to make it easy to set up. And the text message would just ask simple questions like, what current challenges are you facing in your business right now? The response was key. If someone replied, we would engage in a conversation, then diagnose their needs, and then schedule an appointment to really just talk further. This personal approach made the leads feel heard, and it allowed us to offer the right solution at the right time. Text message automation ended up being one of the most efficient ways to book more appointments, way more effective than email. It makes it easier to connect with people, to build trust, and it also ultimately typically converts leads to customers at a higher percentage. And if you want the exact script that I use for my text message automations, comment the word text and I'll send it over. By the way, I hope you found some value in this video so far. And if you did, please make sure you click that like button, subscribe button, and that bell icon. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much in advance. Optimize your lead magnet placement. Want to know how I optimize my lead magnets for maximum impact? You see, after I found a lead magnet that was performing really well, then the next goal was to try to bring down that cost even more so that I can get better results. But at the time, I just really wasn't sure how. I just knew that there had to be a way to make small tweaks that would give us a better bang for the buck. So that's when we started experimenting. We started testing small changes to see what would make the most impact. Now, the big challenge here was to try to figure out how to lower our cost per lead and optimize our lead magnets performance while not making big and drastic and really risky changes. If something's working, we want to make it better. We don't want to break it. We needed a way to fine-tune what was already working, but we also didn't want to overhaul the whole strategy. And what we found was that even the smallest changes actually make a huge difference. So we decided to focus on two main areas, the creative and the copy for the ads that we're promoting for this lead magnet. We started first with testing small design changes, like switching the background color of the image from black to white. Surprisingly, even that small change helped lower down our cost per lead. It really showed us that optimizing doesn't always mean big changes, but it can be small little visual tweaks. Next, we focused on the ad copy. In particular, the mini headline that you see on an ad. Usually in the Facebook ad, it's the first two sentences, or maybe in an Instagram ad, so like the first two sentences in the comment section. We used ChatGPT to create a bunch of different variations of ad copy, and then we just started A/B testing it. Having said that, we would A/B test so that every Monday we would test the creative, and then every Thursday we would test the copy and really try to see what works best to improve the performance of that ad. And by regularly testing and making small adjustments to both the ad design and the ad copy, we significantly improved the effectiveness of our lead magnets just with small changes. In this case, it's all about fine-tuning what already works to get even better results. Now, we have a whole framework of what we test for creative and copy, and if you're interested in getting that framework, type out the words optimize in the comment section. I'll be happy to send it over. Hey, if all of this stuff is sounding really intimidating, don't worry about it. We actually love helping founders set up all this kind of stuff inside of their business. So in the comment section, you'll see a link to book a quick 10-minute brainstorm session. Highly recommend you book some time. Let's have a quick conversation, see if we can help you out. Measure success and iterate. Stop. You're wasting your money if you're not tracking your lead magnet performance, and here's how to fix it. You see, when we first started using lead magnets, we made the mistake of just setting them up and then forgetting about them. We thought that the job was done. And we quickly realized after a month of just wasted funds that our cost per lead was creeping up and we weren't getting the results that we truly wanted. That's when I realized that if we're not tracking performance consistently, there's no way that we can improve or adjust things to keep everything, the business, running smoothly. Now, the problem here was that we were missing opportunities to optimize. And without having tracked our lead performance daily and reviewing the numbers regularly, we couldn't see what was working and what needed fixing. And this lack of attention led to higher costs, fewer leads, and it made it harder to hit our sales goals for the month. So to fix this, we started a process to measure success and iterate constantly. This meant daily tracking. We began tracking the metrics like ad spend, clicks, and cost per lead every single day. We put it into a Google Sheet, and one person on my team is responsible for updating this data. And by updating the scorecard with this data, we're able to stay on top of what's happening in real time. Then at the start of every week, we get together as a group and we meet to review the numbers as a team. If our cost per lead starts trending down, hey, we know we're doing well. If it starts trending up, we need to take a deep dive into the data and make some changes as quickly as possible. That might mean adjusting the ad creative or the ad copy or the targeting, or hey, it might just mean that our ad has fatigued and we need to come up with a new lead magnet idea. And then at the end of each month, we look at the bigger picture. Did we hit our lead generation goals? If yes, then let's refine them and aim for even better results. If no, then we'd analyze the numbers to figure out what needs to be done or what needs to be changed. And by measuring our success and making small adjustments along the way, we've been able to consistently keep our cost per lead under $2 and generate thousands of leads every single month. If you want your lead magnets to be successful, just don't set them and forget them. Track daily, review weekly, adjust monthly. The simple process will help you keep your cost per leads low and your results sky high. If you want access to the scorecard that I use to track our numbers daily, meet weekly, and review monthly, then comment the word leads. Be happy to send it over to you. Hope you found some value in this video. And if you enjoyed this video, then make sure you check out this video here.